Have you ever wondered what you're really giving up when you use a free app or service? Every time you sign up, you're handing over your personal data, your name, email, location, and even your browsing habits. This digital footprint is a valuable currency, traded by companies in ways you might not realize. The convenience feels harmless, but when your data is misused or leaked, the consequences can be serious. Over time, people demanded more control and transparency, realizing that personal data is an extension of their identity. The world needed clear rules to protect privacy and hold companies accountable. Enter the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, a law that has transformed data privacy forever. Let's explore what makes GDPR so revolutionary. GDPR stands for the General Data Protection Regulation, a sweeping data privacy law from the European Union. Its goal? To give individuals more control over their personal data and set a global standard for privacy. GDPR replaced outdated laws coming into effect on May 25, 2018, and applies to any information that can identify a living person: names, emails, IP addresses, even biometric data. It empowers people with rights over their data and forces organizations to be transparent and accountable. Companies can't hide behind vague policies or loopholes. GDPR demands clear rules and real protection. It's about building trust in a digital world. In the next scenes, we'll see why GDPR was so urgently needed and who must follow its rules. Let's dive in. Before GDPR, Europe's data protection laws were a confusing patchwork, unable to keep up with the explosion of technology. Companies collected massive amounts of data, often without clear purpose or consent, leading to frequent data breaches and growing public distrust. The old laws couldn't handle the global flow of data. Whose rules applied when your information crossed borders? People felt powerless as their digital lives were tracked and monetized. GDPR was created to restore trust, enforce transparency, and give individuals real rights over their information. It ensures your privacy travels with your data no matter where it goes. In the digital age, privacy is a fundamental right, not a luxury. That's the promise of GDPR. Think GDPR only applies to European companies? Think again. Any organization anywhere in the world must comply if they handle the data of people in the EU. Sell products to someone in Spain from Canada? Track website visitors in Germany from the US? You're under GDPR. This extraterritorial scope means even a small startup in Brazil or a hotel in Japan must follow the same strict rules if they serve EU customers. Many global companies now apply GDPR standards to all users, setting a new benchmark for privacy worldwide. GDPR's reach is global, and its influence is undeniable. If you process EU data, you must play by these rules, no matter where you are. That's how GDPR became the world's gold standard for data protection. Next, let's break down its core principles. The General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, is founded on 7 essential core principles. These principles are not just guidelines. They are the foundation that shapes every single aspect of how personal data is collected, used, and protected within organizations across Europe and beyond. The first principle is lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. This means that any data you collect must be processed in a way that is legal, fair to the individual, and completely transparent. There should be no hidden motives or secret uses. People have the right to know exactly how their data is being handled. The second principle is purpose limitation. Organizations must collect data only for a clear, specific purpose. Once that purpose is fulfilled, the data cannot be used for something unrelated. This prevents misuse and ensures trust between organizations and individuals. Third is data minimization. Only the minimum amount of data necessary for the intended purpose should be collected. Gathering extra information just in case is not allowed under GDPR. This helps reduce risks and protects privacy. The fourth principle is accuracy. Organizations are responsible for keeping personal data accurate and up to date. If errors are found, they must be corrected without delay. Inaccurate data can lead to serious consequences for individuals. Fifth is storage limitation. Personal data should not be kept longer than necessary. Once the original purpose is complete, the data must be deleted or anonymized. This reduces the risk of data breaches and ensures information isn't held indefinitely. The sixth principle is integrity and confidentiality. organizations must use strong security measures, both technical and organizational, to protect data from unauthorized access, leaks, or loss. This includes everything from encryption to staff training. The seventh and final principle is accountability. It's not enough to simply follow the rules. Organizations must be able to demonstrate their compliance. This means keeping records, conducting audits, and being ready to show regulators how they protect data. Together, these 7 principles form the backbone of GDPR. They are designed to protect individuals' rights and build trust in the digital world. By following these principles, organizations show that they handle personal data with the utmost respect, care, and responsibility, treating it as if it were their own. Every organization, regardless of size or industry, must live by these principles. There are no exceptions or shortcuts when it comes to protecting personal data. Next, we'll explore the legal grounds for processing data under GDPR. Understanding these reasons is crucial for compliance. Remember, it's not as simple as just asking for permission. There are specific legal bases that must be met before any data processing can take place. Under the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, every organization that handles personal data must have a valid legal reason, known as a lawful basis, to process that data. This isn't just a formality, it's a fundamental requirement that shapes how businesses, nonprofits, and even government agencies interact with people's information. Without a lawful basis, any data processing is considered unlawful. The first and perhaps most well-known lawful basis is consent. This means the individual has given clear, informed, and freely given permission for their data to be used. Consent must be specific and unambiguous, so people know exactly what they're agreeing to. There can be no pre-ticked boxes, hidden terms, or confusing language. The process must be transparent, making it easy for users to understand and control their choices. The second lawful basis is contract. If processing someone's data is necessary to fulfill a contract, like delivering a product they've purchased or providing a service they've signed up for, then you're allowed to use their data for that purpose. This ensures that businesses can meet their obligations to customers efficiently. The third basis is legal obligation. Sometimes, the law itself requires organizations to process certain data. For example, banks must perform anti-money laundering checks, and employers have to keep payroll records. In these cases, processing is not optional. It's a legal duty. Choosing the correct lawful basis is crucial because it determines what rights individuals have over their data and how organizations must respond to requests or complaints. It also affects how long data can be kept and what happens if someone objects to its use. For instance, if you rely on consent, people have the right to withdraw it at any time, and you must stop processing their data unless you have another lawful reason. But if you're processing data because of a legal obligation, you can't simply stop just because someone asks. The law takes precedence over individual preferences in these cases. Each lawful basis comes with its own set of rules and implications, so organizations must carefully assess which one fits their situation best. Making the wrong choice can lead to compliance issues and even legal penalties. These 3 bases, consent, contract, and legal obligation, cover most everyday data processing scenarios. However, GDPR actually recognizes 3 additional lawful bases, which we'll explore in the next section. The last 3 lawful bases are more specialized. Vital interests, used in emergencies to protect someone's life, like a hospital accessing records for urgent care. Public task applies to public authorities or organizations carrying out official duties, such as schools or government agencies. Legitimate interests, the most flexible, allowing data processing for a business's genuine needs, like improving services, if it doesn't override individual rights. But this basis requires a careful balancing test and clear documentation. For example, analyzing anonymized user data to improve a website may be justified, but intrusive profiling is not. Legitimate interests offers flexibility, but also demands responsibility. Organizations must always weigh their needs against people's privacy. Now, let's see how these principles and bases work in real life. Imagine a ride-sharing app. Let's call it Go There. This app connects thousands of riders and drivers every day, making urban travel more convenient and accessible. But behind the scenes, every tap and trip involves careful handling of your personal data. When you sign up, Go There collects your name, email, and payment info to create your account. This information is essential for setting up your profile, processing payments, and ensuring you can access the service. The lawful basis for this collection? Contract. Go There needs this data to fulfill its agreement with you and provide the service you expect. When you book a ride, your real-time location is shared with a driver so they can find and pick you up efficiently. This sharing of location data is also necessary for the contract, as it enables the core function of the app, getting you from point A to point B safely and on time. Go There must be transparent about all of this. The app should clearly explain what data it collects, why it's needed, and how long it will be kept. For example, location data should only be stored as long as it's necessary for the ride, and not longer. Users should always have access to privacy settings and be able to review or update their preferences. If Go There wants to send you marketing emails or special offers, it needs your explicit consent. This means you must actively agree, no pre-ticked boxes or hidden opt-ins. You should also be able to withdraw your consent at any time, easily and without hassle. For analyzing trip data to improve service quality, Go There might rely on legitimate interests. This allows the company to study trends and enhance features, but it must always minimize the impact on your privacy and carefully document its reasoning for using this basis. As you can see, this single app uses multiple lawful bases and GDPR principles for different activities. Each type of data and each purpose requires its own careful consideration. GDPR isn't a one-size-fits-all rulebook. It's about matching the right rule to the right situation, ensuring that every action taken with your data is justified and transparent. That's how real-world compliance works, balancing innovation and convenience with respect for your privacy and rights. Let's recap what we've learned so far about how GDPR shapes the way apps like Go There handle your personal information and why it matters for everyone involved. Today, we uncovered the hidden cost of free services and why GDPR was created to protect our digital lives. We defined GDPR, explored its global reach, and broke down its 7 core principles. We learned about the 6 lawful bases for processing data and saw how they work in practice with our ride-sharing app example. GDPR is about trust, transparency, and giving people real control over their information. This is just the beginning. Next, we'll dive into the powerful rights GDPR gives individuals and the key roles within organizations that make privacy possible. Thanks for joining me on this first step toward GDPR mastery. See you in part 2.